All right, it's Monday, January 13th. As you can see, the engine bay is now primed, self-etching primer. That was a worthwhile endeavor. You know, the difference is that, you can imagine when the motor sits in there and the wiring looms are secured and the parts that are extra, like the water pump and the vacuum pump, will be easy to see. And this, to me, just kind of like separates the car from the modifications, right? This is really what we're trying to go after, especially as like a teaching tool, that, you can kind of see, all right, we've got a brake booster, we've got some reservoirs, master clutch cylinder, and a steering gear and some brake lines, and that's it. And then the radiator will be up here. I'll paint the front before I throw that in, but that's done. I think I'm gonna run the stock wiring through that grommet, or what used to be a grommet, so that they run along this channel, because they need to go to the lights here and then probably across to this side. And then I'm thinking probably control side wires out of that grommet. So like, gas pedal, ignition source, whatever else. And then through this one with the rubber in it, that's where I'm gonna throw my high voltage loom through. So 3 different things: stock, control, high voltage, and then maybe also through that one, I'll send through the mod looms, so everything's kind of running through there, all the low voltage 12 volt stuff. We'll see. This is where we're getting into design questions. So I'm still messing around with the wiring here, but the name of the game is simplification. So I got the dashboard secured up better. There's like 2 hand tight pinwheel nuts that secure it, so that's good. Safety first. We don't have the dash coming out in our face when you go over a bump. Yeah, I'm going to take this fuse block. I am going to mount it separately, probably on the side there underneath. And, again, any circuit that does not need to be in the car anymore is not going to be in the car. I'll tape off the wire and just get rid of it completely. So, the wires that were for the gauges, are just secured up under there, and also for the speedo and stuff. And I just cut the mechanical spinning wires. They're frozen anyway, and if someone wants to get them operational, they would have to take them out and rebuild them, essentially. So other design stuff, I'm thinking about the 12 volt battery being here behind the passenger seat. This would be the emergency shutoff right there. I'll have the oh crap switch mounted there, so you can basically just turn around and hit it. And then behind here, I'm not sure yet, but eventually I want to have the sound system in the car, so maybe that would be that, or some sort of onboard charging. The idea is that I've got a solar panel on the back here that would charge the lead acid battery, and then an inverter would kick on for an hour a day or something and run the charger. So the car would essentially charge itself from the sun after charging the 12 volt for a certain amount of time. So maybe I can put a timer on where it only kicks on the inverter at night, for an hour or something, or until the inverter shuts off, which would be 10.5 volts. And then you kind of wait for the 12 volt system to kind of, recover the next day. But that's maybe what we'll put over there. And then just in terms of like how we're running the wires, I'm thinking of the 12 volt line being here on this side of the channel. The stock 12 volt runs over there, and then I'm thinking about the high voltage being on this side. So I don't really like running the 12 volt main feed up and over the pedals. Not a big fan of that. I'd rather it kind of do that, but I kind of want to separate. If the stock wiring harness for the lights is running along that side, I need to keep it away. God forbid it's shorting directly to that. I can't have that. So you may have to do one up and over the pedals. And then high voltage on this side. And there are wire loom secure points on this side. Not sure what we might use with that, but yeah, here's that relay that I was talking about. Found some other parts that, I'll probably use this. This is a circuit breaker that will be right on the battery. I got some 8-gauge wire for my main power feed that's going to go to that fuse box. I was going through all this jazz. Half of it is control for the charger, and then half is control for the inverter. So, kind of get a handle on that. I'm excited to put that back in with the gear shift. That will be sweet. And yeah, so we're still working on the 12 volt system. I think once we've got a new fuse box in there, it's gonna be cool. Just trying to figure out the best way to mount this guy. Just thinking about, maybe something like that, or maybe even up like that at an angle might be all right too. I do like this mounting point because the screws would go into this cavity rather than out into the unknown. I do not like screws sticking out on the other side. I just need to watch, the dead foot pedal, here where you kind of lay your foot when you're driving. I don't want to be interacting with the fuse box because, this is going to be the main hot, that's the main ground. It would obviously be, I got to find a ground point up in there somewhere that's good just to ground it to chassis. But yeah, now we're kind of getting into the creativity of it. How do you want to do it? What's the safest way? What makes the most sense? What's the cleanest way? And that takes a lot of time, but I'm grateful I've got some time and a spot to do this. I'm running the truck, got my power, and we'll see how the days pan out. And it's pretty cool, like Amazon delivered that 8-gauge wire overnight. So got that in the truck. I've got some 1/2-inch loom coming tomorrow. Yeah, I think it's going to be time consuming, like hooking up the high voltage with, kind of having it rewired. I did get some different colored wire, just kind of low voltage wire. And, we'll see. And then putting the drivetrain in is going to be, tough. I've got to, do the shims and everything, but at the end of the day, you just kind of lay it in there. Luckily, the drive shaft is hooked up, it's in better condition. I put a carrier bearing on, a new carrier bearing on it, and then the bushing that's in the back of the trans, I replaced that as well. So it shouldn't flop around. We were just getting like a lot of flex from the drive shaft, and it was hitting the tunnel, you know, when you step on it. So hopefully we'll be in a better place now with that. You know, and this car will look great when I throw the trim panels back on. You know, it just looks super rough, you know, to the undiscerning eye, as it is. But you know, even this dash, if you kind of just like glued felt to it, you know, I think it would look pretty good. You know, and then put some stain on this steering wheel. That's going to be the best part of all, is that wooden steering wheel. It's just so well handcrafted. All right, that's the video for today, more or less. We'll see where we're at later. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. I'll see you around.